What is up, guys? Welcome to my trailer breakdown for Arrow Season 7, Episode 17, titled Inheritance. I am doing the trailer breakdown separate this week, or the trailer breakdowns for the next episodes of Arrow and The Flash. I'm doing them separate because the next episode of The Flash is not coming out for a couple weeks, while Arrow's next episode is coming out next week. So I thought there's no reason I can't do them separately this time around. So with all of that in mind, let's watch the trailer so that I can break it down.
Emiko has been hiding certain parts of her past.
And all we really know is what she's told us.
Your sister is not the hero that you think she is.
Based off this trailer, it seems like this episode is doing something very similar to The Flash's latest episode. It seems to be kind of running parallel in the storyline. This storyline where a new female character who is a relative to the main character of the show, who is a superhero as well, or a vigilante in the case of Emiko Queen, is working with a villain. In Arrow's case, it's the main villain of the season, Dante, while on The Flash's case, it's a main villain of a season, Reverse Flash, but also kind of the main villain of the show, Reverse Flash. And then it's revealed in the 17th episode after a character, Laurel and Arrow and Sherlock on The Flash, investigated it for a little bit or a lot depending on the show, reveal it to the main character in the 17th episode of the season. I mean, these storylines are so similar, it is insane, and they seem to be climaxing in the exact same way in the exact same episode of their respective seasons, which is episode 17. I don't know if this was on purpose, but these storylines are just too similar to actually be a coincidence. Maybe it is a coincidence, I'm not sure, but these are so similar, it is insane, and they seem to be going the exact same way in the exact same episode. In the last episode, episode 15 of Arrow, I'm pretty sure it was that episode, it was the episode where Laurel figured out that Emiko is not exactly the hero that she is portraying herself as. Now, I will say, Laurel didn't actually figure out who she's working with, or the fact that she is working with a villain, but based off this trailer, based off Oliver, Diggle, and Laurel asking all these questions about Emiko in this trailer, I'm gonna guess that the episode will end very similarly to episode 17 of The Flash Season 5, where it is all revealed to Team Arrow, and that's something I'm definitely a little bit excited for. I am very excited for. I think it'll be very similar to how it happened on The Flash, but I don't think it will be executed nearly as well, because on The Flash it was a lot better because, one, Nora Allen was a lot more personal to Barry himself, and it seems like they spent a lot of time together as opposed to Oliver and Emiko, so the betrayal there is a lot more personal, and it's also a lot more personal because Nora has been working with a very personal villain to Barry, the most personal villain to Barry, the guy who killed his mother, the Reverse Flash, and all of that means it's going to be so much less personal on Arrow when Emiko Queen, a character who Oliver didn't really spend much time with, it was maybe like 2.5 episodes total where they interacted with each other at all outside of the Green Arrow parts of them, and I do think that because of that, and on top of that, the fact that she's working with a villain who is not at all personal to Oliver, Dante and Oliver have spent one scene fighting each other. They have no personal beef with each other outside of Emiko herself, and they don't really know anything about each other. They have no really connecting background either, so I do think that this betrayal will not hit Team Arrow nearly as hard. This isn't exactly a complaint about Arrow. They're doing something very different. I will say that although it is very similar, it also is very different. They have a lot of differences, and they're just going about it in a different way. It's not exactly going to be a very emotional betrayal like it was on The Flash. It's not going to be super shocking to the audience, not the audience, but to Team Flash themselves, or it's not going to be as shocking for Team Arrow as it was for Team Flash, because some people there don't really fully trust Emiko already, and she's already been shady this entire time. So yeah, they're doing something very different, and I'm not complaining about the fact that it's not going to be as personal as it is for Team Flash, but I also think in the end, it probably won't be as satisfying, or it won't be as good as it was in The Flash this season. I do think that either way, it is insane how similar these two storylines are going, and it is insane how they seem to be going in the same way in the same episode at the same time. So in short, I think the way this episode will go down in respect to Emiko's secret and all is that Laurel will confront Oliver about the fact that Emiko killed Diaz. He might not believe it, he might believe it, but then he wants to see if she is like that in person. We see in this trailer that Emiko killed somebody, a guard or something with an arrow, and that Oliver will see that. We see the shot right here of Oliver in kind of disbelief, probably at Emiko's actions, and that will lead to Oliver and Diggle having a conversation with Laurel probably about Emiko, and then then later, after that, Oliver will confront Emiko probably at the end of the episode, and she will reveal everything to him, or maybe she will still keep the secret and deny it all. Either way, I think this episode will probably be a very, very strong episode in terms of the relationship between Oliver and Emiko and all the revelations in that storyline, but that's just basically how I think the episode will go down. Another thing that will be happening in this episode in regards to Emiko, or actually two more things, is one, it seems like she is fully joining Team Arrow. We see her in the bunker along with Oliver Queen. We see her on a mission with Oliver and Renee, and I'm pretty sure Diggle is there in the background as well. So she's fully joining Team Arrow in this episode. I don't know how long her stay on Team Arrow will last, considering this episode will probably end with Oliver figuring out that she has been working with the villain this entire time, so she probably won't be on Team Arrow for long, but she is joining Team Arrow in this episode. On top of that, Emiko is getting a new costume and fully becoming the Red Arrow. She has been the Green Arrow this entire time. It was always a mystery who this new Green Arrow is, or it was for the first, I'm pretty sure it was 8 episodes of the season, where this new Green Arrow appeared in the first episode, and it was revealed, I'm pretty sure in episode 8, or rather 10 actually, that it is Emiko Queen. We all knew it was Emiko this entire time because the episode 10 title was leaked. It was changed to Shattered Lives, but then changed back to the original leaked title, My Name is Emiko Queen. So it was revealed then. So she was the Green Arrow that entire time until this episode, where she probably is going to fully join Team Arrow, get this new costume, and most likely become the Red Arrow. In the comics, if you find that confusing, because Red Arrow was initially Roy Harper's superhero name, just to explain it, Roy Harper has had 3 superhero names, which is Speedy initially, and then our Red Arrow, and then as well as Arsenal. Arsenal is a name that stuck with him the most on Arrow as well as in the comics currently, while the name Speedy went to Mia Dearden as well as on the show with Thea Queen, while the name Red Arrow went in the Rebirth comics, went to Emiko Queen. So it seems like she is becoming Red Arrow here as well, which I definitely think is something I wanted to see for a while, her to become the Red Arrow and to see the Green Arrow and the Red Arrow, a very superhero slash sidekick superhero team. Not exactly a very iconic one like Green Arrow and Speedy, or especially like Batman and Robin, but it still is a superhero sidekick duo that I definitely would love to see in live action, and we are finally seeing it in this episode. Before, it was Green Arrow and female Green Arrow in earlier episodes of the show, where it was supposed to be Green Arrow and Red Arrow because it was Emiko Queen, but now it's going to be fully Green Arrow, aka Oliver Queen, as well as Red Arrow, aka Emiko Queen, and I'm definitely kind of excited to see that in live action, but it doesn't seem like we'll be getting much of this superhero slash sidekick team up this season, considering Emiko's eventual betrayal, which is fitting because basically every superhero sidekick team up we see in the Arrowverse doesn't really last long. Like the Arrow and Arsenal didn't last very long because Arsenal did leave the show after season 3, and the only time we got to see them team up again was in, I think it was season 4 episode 12, and that was it. We probably will see them again this season. In fact, we definitely will, but we haven't seen that duo very much at all. And there's also the Flash Kid Flash, which was only really in season 3, a little bit in season 4 and 5, but not much at all. So it doesn't seem like the superhero and sidekick duos really are, they don't really do them that much in these shows, but what they do, it's really, really awesome. Also on top of that, there's like Superman, Supergirl, which has only really happened in like 5 episodes, and the dynamic of that was definitely very changed. But anyway, I think I am very excited to see these two characters team up finally as the Green Arrow and the Red Arrow, but again, it probably won't last very long in this season. In terms of this new costume that Emiko has, the first Red Arrow costume she has, I will wait to pass full judgment until we see it in action, really, in the episode. But in terms of how it looks in the photo, I do think it's a huge step up from her old costume, which is basically the Green Arrow costume, which compared to now is basically having no costume at all. But it's also a huge step down from the last Speedy, or the last Red Arrow, which was Thea Queen's costume. That costume was basically like a female version of Arsenal's costume, which both costumes are incredibly awesome. So much so that Emiko Queen's costume in Rebirth was 100% based off Speedy's costume on Arrow, and I think that this costume is definitely not as good. I think it fits the character very well, and I kind of like the black and red. They clash well with each other, but it's definitely not as good as, say, Speedy's costume, which was originally from season 3. I will say, however, if they just add the mask and the hood, I probably won't have any complaints about this costume at all. It's a very unique costume compared to the rest, and I think that's a good thing for the character. Again, it fits the character very, very well, but just like Oliver this season, they're really, really missing the mask and the hood. It's just such an iconic look, and I think it looks so awesome. It looked great for Oliver, for Green Arrow, it looked great for Arsenal, it looked great for Speedy. And it also kind of looked great for Emiko when she was wearing the Green Arrow costume, so I think that just like Oliver this season, they really need the mask and the hood to complete the costume, to make the costume look so much better. She could have a red mask and hood or a black mask and hood. Probably red would definitely fit it a lot better and I think look a lot cooler. Either way, both she and Oliver need those masks and hoods to make them look so much more heroic and so much more badass in especially like the fight scenes and the promotional photos and like the posters as well. So anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this trailer. So anyway, let me know what you think about Red Arrow's new costume, as well as the fact that she's joining the team and she's getting this new Red Arrow codename, if she is. That's not actually confirmed, but I'm just guessing that she is. And also, how do you think they're going to execute this whole reveal to Oliver and the team that she is working with the villain of the season? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.